name is Joseph Wandera, the Anglican Bishop for the Diocese of Mumias. We are so delighted that we can share with you our common work in the diocese. One of the main goals in our 5-year strategic plan is spiritual growth and development. And under our strategy, we desire as a diocese that we may do more and more outreach, reaching out to people with the love of God and with the good news of our salvation. And to be able to do this, to be able to do evangelism in our diocese, there have been a number of outreaches organized by the diocese through our mission, our coordination office. But we have also had a number of missions done annually in different parishes. I can for sure mention the parish of Imanga, who have been doing it annually, the parish of Muhwea, the parish of Shibade, the parish of Bobore. These are parishes and many others who intentionally plan for outreaches every year. There have also been collaborative initiatives around evangelism. The Diocese of Mumias continues to participate in national evangelistic outreaches. We have been invited with the Diocese of Nakuru. We have been invited and have participated in the Diocese of Nambale. We have participated in a mission in the Diocese of Makueni. So we are not just doing it for ourselves, we're also sending out teams, people on fire for the Lord Jesus to go out and support initiatives in evangelism. Under the same mission goal, as spiritual growth and development, we focus on enriching liturgy. And one of the most important activities that we've done in enriching liturgy is participating at the International Hymn Festival. For the first time in its decade existence, the Diocese of Mumias has participated in the International Hymn Festival. We were in Lira, Uganda, to join 45 teams from Eastern Central Africa in singing for the Lord. And the diocese came up very, very competitively during this course. What that does is that when they experience good singing, our hope is that when the choir members return home, then they are able to enrich worship at the different churches that they worship. And we look forward to participating in this year's International Hymn Festival, which will be held in Mombasa Diocese. We very much look forward to doing that worship. And there are many discipleship initiatives that are happening across the diocese. People meeting in small groups, known as Vikwenyi, every other week, and reading the Bible, and the leader leading them in a Bible study during those home fellowship groups. Under discipleship, we have also had a number of trainings with clergy and with laity. I'd like to specifically mention a very important training on discipleship that we had in conjunction with the Diocese of Dallas through a virtual space. And it went on for several weeks, and our evangelists have been adequately prepared in matters of discipleship, but also in matters of outreach. A number of institutional policies have been implemented in the diocese. For example, we now have a finance manual, a manual that guides us on how finances and other resources will be handled right from the congregational level up to the diocesan level. We have also equipped our accounts office by personnel. We have a CPA, a K, as the head accountant in the diocese, and we have an accounts clerk, and we have another accounts clerk. So building the capacity of the diocese as an institution in matters of money. There have now been policies that have been put in place, like the child protection policy, how to protect children in our spaces of worship, and this was done at the provincial level, but the diocese has fully received it and is actually implementing it in our churches, and a number of other policies which we look forward to putting in place. Policies around proper church management. We are launching it during this coming synod. In terms of building the capacity of our human resource, a number of trainings have been so key. And for the last 6 years, for the last 2 years, very many trainings have gone on. So trainings in evangelism, trainings in discipleship, trainings in leadership, trainings in public relations and marketing, but also exposure tours. We have been able to send a clergy to other churches. I know for sure that we did send a clergy for a whole month at Nairobi Baptist Church, and he spent time there learning and praying and interacting with them. And the hope is that by doing that, when the clergy come, they are able to enrich our ministry. We have intentionally invested in theological education. For the last 2 years, we have several clergy graduating with degrees and with diplomas. The Reverend Alfred Kerr, a degree from Durham University. The Reverend Billy Wetoto, a higher diploma in education and mission. And as we speak, we now have again other clergy studying at St. Timothy Divinity School, and we're exploring possibilities of sending other clergy for postgraduate studies, both locally and internationally. Infrastructural projects have been put up. We now have Kanunabala Resource Center, an important space for training and for retreats. We have established Ebenezer Center for youth and children, another important space that commits to ministry with and among children and the youth. We have established the 5 Talents Office, a place that manages microfinance in our communities. We have expanded the guest house. We now have a very beautiful new guest house wing and accompanying facilities such as a boardroom and a big hall named after the first Bishop Wesa. We are putting up a perimeter wall around the cathedral, not to put people away, but to safeguard it and to give it beauty. We have established, renovated a space that will serve as a guiding and counseling unit, among many other strategic infrastructure that we are putting up. We are increasing the capacity of communication department. We've acquired new equipment, a new camera, and lighting, and all this is meant to enhance our capacity as an institution. A number of interventions have been done around empowering God's people economically. We have a fast-growing circle, actually among the top 10 circles in Kakamega County, with a growing number, now about 740, and with savings that are increasingly growing, and people are able to take loans and to buy land and to build houses and to carry out investments. We also have, under the 5 Talent Scheme, small groups across the diocese, but also congregations gathering every Sunday to save small money. And the reason for saving money is so that they may take credit and that they may invest. And we are so delighted that we are able to be used of God in social transformation in that way.
Mukodet is a program of the diocese initiated under the third pillar of the current Diocesan strategic plan. That pillar is economic empowerment. It was initiated in 2019 with a view to bring Christians together in form of trust groups and encourage them, train them, and mentor them around savings, credit, and investment. So Mukodet as a program has those three pillars: savings, credit, and investment. What we do is to engage the community, train them, and mentor them to save and from their own basket to get credit or loan each other, and also train them around investment. We provide general trainings on investment, but we also provide personalized trainings for those individuals who may want to be capacity built in particular businesses. So beyond the savings, credit, and investment, we use trust groups established at church level in our diocese, established at parish level, and these trust groups are led by our own Christians. And so part of what Mukodet does is to train and build the capacity of those officials, group leaders, to provide sound leadership to the groups, and also enable the groups to flourish amidst group dynamics. By end of last year, we had a total of 40 groups established in the diocese, with visibility in about 35 parishes of the diocese. These 40 groups had made a savings of about 4.1 million Kenyan shillings by end of last year, and had issued loans of up to about 2.7 million through the trust groups. So some of the trust groups are vibrantly growing. We have a church trust group that is over 600,000 in savings, some that are in 500,000, many that are in 300,000, 400,000. But then the total savings for the groups was at 4.1 million by end of last year. However, early this year, we've launched yet another product called Kumi Kumi Initiative. So Kumi Kumi Initiative comes to us as another product from Mukodet family, Mukodet program. And what it prompts Christians to do is to save at least 10 shillings every Sunday. At least 10 shillings every week. We are hoping to then include everyone, because the journey to save in the diocese has been embraced by a very small fraction of the total number of Christians in the diocese. But Kumi Kumi has been discussed and agreed upon even by the standing committee that it carries all of us. It's a request to all of us to save at least 10 shillings every Sunday.
And we pray, oh God, that our parishes, our churches, our congregations will embrace this vision and to understand that there is power in unity, there is power in numbers. And when they collect money, however little, incrementally, it builds into a whole.
One can save 20 shillings, one can save 50 shillings, 100 shillings, even 1,000 shillings every Sunday. But in the spirit of being accommodative, we say let even that least financially able person in that church be able to journey with us. 5 Talents was by design supposed to fund this program for 5 years. Those 5 years elapsed. 2024 was the 6th year, which was then an extension. Again, it elapsed. So we are in the 7th year of funding. But then the agreement with 5 Talents now is that they will be phasing out gradually. So we will be getting reduced funding in the next maybe 1 or 2 years. We may not be receiving funds from 5 Talents. And so again, we are setting structures through the office of the bishop and other partners to see how much can we sustain this program as a diocese within our own resources, and again, to what extent can we reach out to other partners to support the program. So that will be an ongoing effort as we move through this year. And for as long as 5 Talents will continue funding us, we'll be exploiting other structures that will seek to sustain the program going forward. the Green Anglican Movement, that is what we're referring to as GAM, is an initiative of the diocese. Again, it's embedded in the Diocesan Strategic Plan, agenda number 4 of the strategy, which is care for the environment. So Green Anglican Movement, yes, it's a provincial movement. It's actually an international movement, but then that is the arm within which the diocese has expended efforts towards care for the environment. The diocese has endeavored in 4 areas around care for the environment. The first one has been tree growing, where we advocate for Christians and all players in the diocese to embrace tree growing. You plant a tree and you ensure its growth.
Kwa hivyo rakomsala kuno ila okopera nyasaye mbolyo muno ebihano bingi byakweresinja shira muno eshiyano ashamazi parish muno nende mu community muno muliyera nyasaye sefwe lumwana nde romlafo.
That is targeting 10% tree cover in the diocese and in all spaces to achieve 10% tree cover. The second agenda has been clean and efficient energy, adoption of clean and efficient energy, part of which is solar. The diocese has made steps in providing mentorship on that. We have quite a number of solar security lights at the diocesan headquarters. So solar energy, and then there's also biogas, which is being developed again at the diocesan headquarters, and we are hoping that this can provide mentorship to the community as they pass by to embrace clean and efficient energy. The third agenda around care for the environment has been waste management. The discussion is even wider when you narrow down to solid waste management, which we see plastics and nylon papers and other general waste in our compounds. And so again, we are having conversations and trainings around waste management. For solid waste, we are advocating for 3 R's. So we are saying reduce, reuse, or recycle. And those are going a long way in managing solid waste. The last agenda around care for the environment is soil and water conservation. And so we are also training our Christians and mentoring our communities to be good stewards of our soils, that they may serve us today efficiently, but then that should not compromise how the subsequent generations will benefit from those soils. And also protect our streams of water. They should not dry up because of our activities as human beings. So those are the intervention areas that GAM brings into our community, into our diocese, as efforts to care for the environment. This has been integrated in our church system. Departments have been called to embrace care for the environment. We have a liturgical service that is done on care for the environment. We've asked Christians to celebrate their birthdays and characterize those events by planting of trees, cleaning compounds and such. And we hope that as this grows, we will see the diocese heavily investing in care for the environment.
Stewardship, in summary, occurs in 5 areas, roughly 5 areas. One, there is the mobilization of resources. We mobilize resources in the Church of God and utilize them for the glory of God and for the growth of the ministry. Number 2, another area that is very vital is the spiritual growth. Under spiritual growth, we are addressing the discipleship and mentorship. People have to grow spiritually. We have to identify that their spiritual gifts are being utilized for the growth of the church. And we also mentor. Under mentorship is that we disciple, we nurture, we help grow leadership in the church. That's area number 2. And then number 3, we also encourage and deal with the environmental care. Stewardship has also to do with the environment. We make sure that our church precincts or areas are clean, flowers are well trimmed, trees are grown, and just the general cleanliness of the church areas. Number 4, we also encourage the area of time management. And when we are looking at time management, it's in 2 aspects. the church has to manage time in meetings and in prayer sessions or in church. But again, we also look at time in the aspect of projects, like when I'm posted to a parish, the time I am there, what programs do I have? What programs do I have in that parish? What projects do I have in that parish? So time is both in terms of meetings or church service and even the projects. And then lastly is the pastoral care. The church has a duty, a strong duty of giving pastoral care to the flock and also to the shepherd. So generally, that's how I would define the major areas of stewardship whereby the church is concerned. One of the basic or major challenges in the church operations is that we operate by the grace. It's not like fellowships or jama outside there or other institutions whereby there are rules which must be followed. If you break them, you are punished. The church will operate by grace. So like one of the main challenges is in giving. When we talk of giving, I believe people have to really get the spiritual strength. People have to really understand their close relationship with God so that giving is not an issue. We still have a lot of challenges under giving. People give very poorly, sadaka just to begin with. People have not yet understood tithing, fungu la kumi. And when you read Genesis chapter 28, verse 10 to 22, you find the basic background of tithing. When people understand tithing, for example, then automatically they will serve God. We shall have enough resources in the church. And maybe another serious challenge that I see is the attitude. And the attitude is in the leadership, for example. The leaders doesn't have that strong push to really give good leadership. And even as clergy, some of us have given up, have an attitude that, okay, things are difficult, it's fine. And lastly, another challenge is on pastoral care. Pastoral care, like for example, if I'm a priest and I'm expecting the flock to give heavily for the work of God, I am expected to deliver my services. When people are sick, when people are bereaved, when people have counseling problems, when people have disputes and natural disasters, all those things, they need my heavy presence, and that is pastoral care. And I think those are some of the challenges I see, basically based on attitude and low level of spiritual maturity. I have a strong message for the lay members of the synod. I think in some way they have let us down, because they are very active when we are at the synod making resolutions, but they are very poor in implementation when we get back to the parishes. When we are at the parishes, the vicar is struggling to implement the resolutions of the synod, while the synod members, most of them have disappeared. I want them to come up strongly and stand with the leadership of the diocese and the leadership of the parishes to help us to explain and implement the resolutions that are passed by the synod. So the synod must be focused on the strategic plan of the diocese and join the vicars down there to implement. When it comes to implementation, lay synod members are scarcely in the picture.
The docket of resource mobilization actually just comes in to complement what the other departments are doing within the diocese. So my role is to support the programs of all departments in regards to resource mobilization. So, for example, like under the Family Day draft, what I come in to do is to assist them get guests, especially for the final day, the bishop's guests, as well as to visit parishes and talk to Christians and just give my support so that we actualize the targets that we have. Secondly, this year, 2025, we want to enhance the schools program under DAFT. Last year, we did 1.5 million, which was very good, it was commendable, and this year we want to double our target So we are going to have a very vigorous program where we are going to visit schools and encourage them, teach them the beauty of giving. Secondly, we are also embarking on a program where we want to pull in our Christians from the diaspora. So we are going to visit them, fellowship with them, have meals with them, just talk to them about the programs that we are having within the diocese, the plans that we have, and just have a discussion with them on how they can come in to support their diocese back at home. Other than that, we also want to have a Christmas concert at the end of the year, where we are going to call upon our parishes to organize themselves and do presentations. This would be in terms of plays, the choirs, music, just for entertainment, bringing people, fellowship together, and at the end of the day have something that we can say, okay, this is the talent that we have as our Diocese of Mumias. So under the DAFT fund, we allocate 40% towards development, which we use to pay off the loan that we got from CCK, that's the Church Commissioners of Kenya. We got a loan from them that was used to construct the guest house. So we have been paying faithfully for the last 7 years since DAFT started. And we are in the final stages. We believe in the next 2 years we should have completed paying that loan. Then that would give us room to do expansion of the guest house. We would also want to have bigger conference facilities and even expand our accommodation capacity. So the guest house is a very nice place. It offers a lot of services. It's a very tranquil environment. We have very nice accommodation that is up to standard. We have a nice restaurant. We have halls, meeting halls. So right now, all the services are running and running very well. We have gone a long way to improve our menu. From what we had in the past, the menu is now enhanced. You can get meals like pork chops, which were not being served before. We have fish fillet. We have very professional chefs at the guest house, and they can always surprise you with any meal that you want. We have a fully fledged bakery that is working, and we do bread, we do lots of pastries. We are supplying bread to some schools, especially a school like Msanda Secondary. It's our biggest customer for the bakery. And all the pastries that we serve at the guest house when we have meetings are all produced within the guest house. We have had quite a bit of improvements, also physical improvements. We have redone the plumbing system, now it's working very well. We have redone the kitchen, now the bakery moved from the lower guest house to the upper guest house, and things are looking up. In future, we are hoping that we'll be able to do a swimming pool to pull in better crowds and just improve the services that we offer at the guest house.
CAIO is a department that takes care of the young people in the diocese, reaches out to them. Our motto is "Be strong in the Lord," Ephesians chapter 6, verse number 10. And our vision is to become a strong, dynamic Anglican youth, boldly proclaiming Christ. Our mission statement is to reach and equip the youth to transform society with the gospel. So we seek to equip the young people to bring transformation in our society through the gospel of Christ. CAIO, through the Executive Council, has had a lot of undertakings across the diocese, and among the things we do is around mission and evangelism. CAIO reaches out to congregations through the DYO's pastoral visit, where we get an opportunity to minister to our parishes and to also extend an invitation of receiving Christ to them. In the last 2 years, we have gone to all of our 47 parishes across the diocese. And this new year, 2025, we have begun another round, and we are looking forward to visiting 24 parishes by the end of this year. Other things that we do, we carry out rallies for the young people in archdeaconries, and we also do capacity building. Capacity building where we meet leaders, we hold them accountable of what they are doing in those parishes, and we advise them accordingly. Kayo has also richly been involved in environmental conservation efforts. Every year around Youth Week, which always happens in the month of August, we do what we call the Youth Tree Planting Challenge, where we invite young people to participate in tree planting. And in the last 2 years, we have planted over 5,000 trees across the diocese in our congregations, but also we have contributed to the setting up of our Diocesan Arboretum or prayer garden, which is within the diocesan premises. Kayo also, as a way of reaching out to the young people, every year we gather at the Diocesan Annual Conference, which happens annually the month of December from 27th to 31st, and we have been registering improvement in attendance of those conferences. In the year 2023, we registered a total of 1,144 delegates in Koyonzo. Last year, 2024, we were in Lubinu and we registered an attendance of 1,244. This year, we will be having the same program, and our target is 1,300 delegates. Kayo runs a number of projects. We have mattresses for hire, and they give us, usually during the holidays, we get an average of 40,000 on an average scale every holiday, courtesy of the mattresses project. We also have 7 computers, which we use to offer computer packages with the hope that in the near future we are going to make it a cyber and even be able to serve schools within Mumias, those ones who may need computer services. We also send invitations as well to those schools that we are able to help them and journey with them in that journey. We believe that our elders are exiting, and we believe that our young ones, the children are coming up, but the youth are current and future. And so pray with us that God will give us the grace to shepherd the young people well and direct them in the right direction.
This board of education sits once in a term to deliberate on matters of education. So for now, I wish to say about our enrollment in these schools. We have a total of 100,000 learners, and they comprise of the following. In our junior schools, which are comprehensive schools, we have 61 schools. We have 5 private schools. We have 2 church schools, and then we have 2 special schools. And I wish to mention the 2 special schools, that is Koyonzo Special School and Mumiasi National School of Autism. We have the senior schools, the secondary, 45, plus 1 which has been affiliated to us, that is Jinja Secondary, which is sponsored by the Pefa Church. We have also colleges, debate colleges, which are 2. Then we have County Polytechnic 4. So from this population, when we go back to our strategic plan of 2023 to 2028, unit number 5 on our diocesan strategic plan, unit number 5 is talking of us strengthening education matters in our institutions. So when we begin with the school ministry, because of the large population, we have divided schools into what we call clusters. So we have 17 clusters with 17 chaplains who man schools when it comes to school ministry. So each school has its day, each school has a chaplain. We have exams which we call SCK evaluation tests. So we have exams for grade 6, that is called assessment, grade 6 and grade 9. Like this year, grade 9 is going to have their first assessment, which will be done at the end of this term. We have also Form 4, which we are going to do it in July, but every July we have the Form 4 evaluation, then the release is done in September. We have student leadership training, where schools bring in their prefects from first term up to the end of July. So far, we have Maraba who have brought in their students for leadership training. Masanda, we have had Namulungu, they brought, Maraba brought, Lubinu boys brought, Lubinu girls are bringing.
This year, 2025, we have a program in the diocese that we enrolled this month of March, and we are having monthly fasting and praying, and including an overnight. We began in the cathedral on 7th March, and we are rolling it across the diocese. We are going to move in the entire 7 archdiaconries, having time to pray, having time to worship God and fast. And it includes the old clergies, evangelists, and all Christians who have a mission, who have a passion to serve the Lord. We are planning. It's in our plan system that we are going to host provincial Mecca mission. This Mecca mission is one of the strategies going to use to enable us to evangelize and reform our worship in the diocese and bring revival. And we are targeting the month of September 10th to 15th to host a group of 2,000, more than 2,000 missionaries across the diocese, in our schools, in our churches, in our market centers. And we are targeting to reach out to 50,000 people and at least to get 1,000 new converts. This will probably increase our number of Christian worship, which has been averagely about 12,000 to 13,000 and 14,000 monthly, those who worship with us. And that is our plan this year, 2025, God willing.